welcome. We're episode 6 here with Happy Hour Huddle. We got Tim Fidel here. Unfortunately, Danny couldn't make it today, so wishing Danny the best. He's missing out on some fun times, some fun topics today. If you're returning, thank you, for always joining us, listening to us. We really do appreciate it. And this is your first time, welcome. We hope you continue coming back to our channel. Please subscribe, like, hit that reminder button, that bell button down below. To get the reminders of when we post our new videos and shorts, get that little sneak peek. And always remember to leave comments and your thoughts on just our videos. We really do like to read them. We want to get you guys' feedback.
Absolutely. What John said. It's very important. We love any feedback, any and all. We're always looking for more, comments and just more, strategy for the future. So don't hesitate, kind of like we mentioned last week. Don't be shy.
Awesome, but we'll get into the episode and we'll start with just our happy hour. And one of the big topics is NCAA football's coming out this week, and I think it's been long awaited. It's been so many years since we've last had this game come out, and everybody's talking about it. I think we're stoked about it. And one of the things I think we all like to do when we play the game is do that dynasty mode. And I think we're all looking at the teams of who do we want to build up to this powerhouse college football team. So we decided to share our top 3 schools that we're going to be using for dynasty mode. And like I say, please let us know what you think of our choices, and also let us know who you think we should try out, because we'll be playing it multiple times, I think, having multiple dynasties all at once. So it's a fun game. But my first team I have is Maryland, the Terrapins. And the reason I picked them is I've always been a Maryland fan. That the uniforms, their flag on the helmet,
Yep.
it's just pretty clean uniforms. And like I say, I've always followed them. I like Maryland basketball, followed them since, I was younger, watching them in college, when they were a lot more relevant and in the tournament. So that's why I picked Maryland as one of my teams to do the dynasty.
See, for me, I have UCLA. I am a UCLA football fan, so it's an obvious choice for me. I feel like they're a good team to build to, because they're good, but they're not great. So it'll take a little bit of work to get them up to that level and have them push for the playoffs.
There you go. First one off the board for me is absolutely going to be UMass. Bottom of the barrel, low-ranking team. Got to revigorate that entire, school football program. I think that's what makes the game so much fun is, just bring a poor team and making like a just powerhouse of a schedule and bringing them back. And, if you have to run like a West Coast offense with them, or, just kind of make some wild changes to the team, it's a lot of fun. So UMass for sure is on my board. And then I guess I'll go with my next one right off the bat here. I just got to represent, got to go Cal. I'm not going to act like I went there. It's a great school, though. But grew up, right kind of in the same neighborhood as Cal Berkeley. So, just a big history of players that went through there. Divisional changes now kind of spices things up a lot. So, Cal, excited to kind of tackle that one, too.
See, the other team I would go with would be UConn. Just kind of for the same reasons Tim said about UMass. Like, they've been terrible for God knows how long. Try to build up like the schedule and make them a powerhouse as well. Try to bring some football pride to that school, since they're a basketball school.
Awesome. Yeah, my next team I picked was Hawaii. Always been a Hawaii fan. I think when the game was out many years ago, Hawaii was always a team I built up. I think that's when they were also a lot better. Not great, but a decent team. Now they're just, not that great, bottom. So building them up, and, it might be a little easy to recruit people to go into Hawaii. It's a nice place to live at. Expensive, but hey, if you go on a full scholarship, it's worth it.
Represent.
Yes. And then my next team, it's between two. I have Miami or UMass. So UMass, just building them up, bottom of the barrel, like Tim mentioned. And then I also have Miami as another one I want to build. You know, glory big program. In the past, always had great players, great defenses, but they haven't been as relevant. So, building that school back up to one of the top football schools it would be fun. So, I have both of those teams as my next one.
For me, my last one would be Miami. Just because what John said, they were prestigious back in the 80s, 90s, and to that early 2000s. I mean, they definitely have had fallen from grace, but hey, they have a hotbed of recruits in that South Florida area that you can definitely try to scout. And then from what I hear from the game, like South Miami, South Florida is supposed to be produced like all the speed receivers, and then like apparently Southern California is supposed to like produce all the top tier quarterbacks.
Nice. I like that. They're like really in depth with all the even the small things this year.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
Yeah.
killer. Almost seems like they had 10 years to put it together, huh?
I know, right?
My next team, God, I went through so many. Even in my head now, I'm trying to narrow down exactly what I'm thinking. But you know what? I'll continue on with just teams that struggle and you're trying to kind of revigorate a program. It would be Purdue. Purdue's always kind of, wrecked on with their conference and be a fun team to build back up also.
Awesome.
Keep
No,
that
though, I think,
storyline.
yeah, no, I think there's a lot of teams that used to be, prestigious back in the day, would be big name schools, and now they're not relevant anymore. And just trying to build them up. One I always thought about was Boise State, just playing on that blue field. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
you know, I've been looking at all the jerseys. I'm like, oh, what team's a good jersey to just try to build up and make that jersey so popular. So,
There you go.
but yeah, awesome.
Yeah, Maryland's a good one. Speaking of jerseys, and then is Tua's brother still there quarterbacking?
Yeah, yeah, he's still the
That's
QB
fun
there.
too.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun. Like I say, they're not up and coming, but they got some names. Some prestigious wide receivers always came out of Maryland too. So hey, could be a good program to win a national champion with. So
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing with Miami.
yeah,
Revigorate that program back to
yeah,
its heydays. Shout out
yeah,
Ken Dorsey, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, awesome. Well, but yeah, so that's our list of NCAA, dynasty teams that we're gonna be playing with once the game comes out. I think a few of us ordered it early, so we get it tomorrow afternoon. We could start playing it. But yeah, if you guys have any other teams, let us know what you guys are gonna start your dynasties with. Because we're interested to see how that goes as well. Next topic we have is Hard Knocks. We have the first two episodes. Have you guys been watching it? And just what are you guys' thoughts so far? Because this is or not even preseason. This is off season stuff. So, what are your guys'
Absolutely.
thoughts?
I'm urgently waiting episode 3 at the moment. And kind of following along with, what a lot of people are saying, how, I don't know, maybe disorganized or how simple that front office seems.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they kind of did a pretty bad job with trying to re-sign Saquon,
Mm-hmm.
and just the negotiation tactics weren't really strong. Nothing really seemed
Mm-hmm.
to, in it's interesting because that phone call in the end of the second episode, when he's actually talking with Saquon, it sounds like Saquon's already out the door. Like, he's.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's been a million conversations. They haven't gone anywhere. So, the build up to that point is pretty telling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've only watched like the first episode, but honestly, like Tim said, they're that whole Saquon situation. Obviously, for him to go to a division rival, there had to be like a bunch of conversations that went over for him just to be like, yeah, I'm going to stay in the
Mm-hmm.
division, going to Philly.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like I say, haven't paid too much attention to it, but from what I have seen, that's the Saquon negotiations. I feel like they dropped the ball. I don't know if I heard it correctly, but they were sort of just gonna have him test the market because they thought he wasn't gonna get what he wanted, and someone paid for him. They even mentioned it in the episode. The salary cap went up, so it's like someone's gonna pay for him if that salary cap goes up. But what was really cool for me was seeing the behind the scenes of the combine. You know what each team does with the players. You know how they test them. You know, one on one. You know, it was very interesting to see that pressure that some of these teams put them through. You know, so that was a cool, different view of the whole combine.
Yeah, to second that, I completely agree. I feel like the interview stage was like really, really interesting. Dable, you can tell is good at that stuff and putting
Yeah.
the pressure on, and having players memorize and recite everything back, just on a whim. Kind of test them to that pressure. It kind of reminds me back to like that John Gruden like
Yeah.
QB camp, scenario.
Oh yeah. I
So that's
remember.
pretty cool, and those
The
were
X
always
Spider
interesting to watch.
Y Banana.
Yeah, where they get all crazy with it. Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Always fun to watch that stuff. But yeah, no, it's interesting. You get to behind the scenes of players that are up and coming too. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool. Like I say, I think the off season not as not as interesting as preseason, but it's a whole different just view of it, and it's like what the GMs go through in the negotiation. So if they continue doing it, I'm curious. Do you guys have a team you guys would want to see what they do in the off season? You know, I'm trying to think. Like, I think Chargers would be one. You know, seeing Harbaugh's mind.
The Panthers.
The Panthers.
Because they're still probably going to be bad, and it would make for interesting like off season show.
Yeah.
yeah, just watching the owner come into the locker room repeatedly and just start trashing them or something. I don't know. Selfishly, probably the Niners would be interesting. I'd like some behind the scenes stuff of these IU conversations. I feel like it's kind of gotten a lot of headlines. I would second the Chargers also. I think that one's an interesting storyline. A lot of new faces there, and Harbaugh, he's always an interesting character. So,
but I think the way it's structured, the Chargers still can't, because they were on it like less than 5 years ago, and I think there's like a thing like it's like you have to like have not been on it within 5 years. So maybe they'll do the AFC West as a division next year, and they can get the Chargers in there somehow like that.
They should just get the Raiders.
Yeah.
Has Raiders been the last 5 years? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Was it the Antonio Brown season where he left? Was that Hard Knocks as well? I think it was.
That might have been like 2019. Right?
Yeah.
Close to 5 years. So
yeah,
not too long ago. Yeah,
So,
my favorite though was the Detroit Lions. Dan
That's a
Campbell.
good
That was a really
good
fun
one,
little season there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I always just enjoy watching some of the clips, even from the older days. They're always
for
funny.
sure. The narration in those are second to none. To have that voice, I swear.
I like seeing the clips of the old school ones, the one with the Ravens, where they were just always pranking each other.
Yeah.
It was Saragusa and Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp. Yeah. Those
Had
are
the
good.
rookie imitate Shannon. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
It was really good.
No, but awesome. But yeah, that's Hard Knocks. We just wanted to, bring it up because it's been 2 episodes. It's a new, format for this year for the off season. So, but so far so good. Next, we'll go into our Say What section. So we have 2, things we sort of want to rank. First one is just we talk about movies, we talk about TV, and we wanted to bring up our Mount Rushmore of TV characters. Either real life or cartoon. Who are those characters that are always going to be names to remember? Because, like I say, we binge shows a lot. We rewatch some shows. So, what are those character names? And for me, one of the first ones I have is Al Bundy. Married with Children. That's just he's funny. The way TV shows were back then too, all that raunchy comedy. I still think it's hilarious. Women's shoe sales, it's a classic for me.
I have a Homer Simpson as one of mine. Classic character, good comedy, plays the dumb dad. I mean, The Simpsons has been on TV for like 30 years.
Yeah,
never fails.
100%. Sorry, guys, I'm going to steal it from everybody. Michael Scott, just number one. Just, make his the biggest head there. It's just in my heart, he's just unbelievable. Just a true joy. Next, I'm gonna go because we're including like cartoon as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
My inner child and young, you know, young child parent mood is going to come out here. Going to throw SpongeBob in there. Just truly iconic. It's a character that, me personally, I was able to grow up with, and then now my kids, get to enjoy him also. But yeah, SpongeBob definitely thrown up there.
Then for me, I would also go with Peter Griffin, another classic animated dad. Hilarious, more adult humor, which is what we love over here.
Yeah, and I'll stick with some animation I have. One was Homer Simpson, just like Fidel shared. Classic TV dad, TV show that's been on for so long. I always remember with The Simpsons wanting to watch the Halloween episodes. Those were always my favorite. Those special episodes. Pretty scary sometimes. Even as a kid, I was like, oh man, this is a little too much. So, but Homer Simpson, he's just iconic. And the next animation character I have is Goku from Dragon Ball Z. It's a TV show I've always watched as a kid. I think it's the only real anime type show I've watched religiously. I've watched a little bit of like Attack of the Titans here and there, but never like religiously. But Goku is just, when he Super Saiyans, gets all those flames. It's just iconic, all his battles. So I had Goku as one of my characters on my Mount Rushmore.
Another one I would have would be Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. That guy went through it all and ended up being like one of the main people at the end of the episode. He went from his dad wanting to get him killed to like getting exiled and then just becoming the hand of the queen.
There you go. Bringing it back to The Office, Fidel called me out on this earlier. Dwight Schrute definitely has to be up there for me. He's a true icon. His humor is it's just on a different level. I love it. The next one I was gonna say Peter Griffin. Gonna mix it up a little bit here. I think I'm gonna go Andy from Parks and Rec. Another just really funny, just spur of the moment, random things. I think back to him throwing a briefcase in one of the offices, breaks the light, and just even, just the funny things he just would randomly do. Kind of like Dwight, but yeah, can throw Andy on there.
For me, I'd go Steve Urkel. I remember
That's a good one.
growing up watching Family Matters as a kid. Steve Urkel was a great. He was only supposed to be like in a few episodes, but he stole the show and they made him the main character. Yes, Steve Urkel for sure.
Next, I'm trying to think right now if I could change it, but I can't. I have Michael Scott as well. He's just iconic. That boss character, The Office. He made that show because if you notice, once his character left, the show wasn't the same, and that's why they had to cancel it. I think if he would have stayed, show could have gone on for a few more years. I think they could have had a lot of great comedy and a lot of great, ideas. But, Michael Scott, one of those characters you can't forget. Let us know, you guys, if there's anybody we miss off of our list of, that Mount Rushmore of TV characters, because there are a lot. I was thinking Tyrion Lannister. I had him in mind. He survived the whole show. He was from episode 1 all the way to the end. It's very rare to have one of those characters you like survive a few episodes in Game of Thrones. Everybody gets killed off, so he was there.
Right. Just
But
comment
awesome.
who your guys' favorites are as well.
Yeah, for sure. Next week we have another say what. It's something we've discussed. I think with NCAA coming out and a lot of just sports stuff coming out. We wanted to bring up just the funniest athlete names that we've heard and seen. Because there's some very creative names. Some of these names that when you hear, you just gotta giggle. You gotta have that chuckle. It's too hard not to. And one, there's a lot of obvious ones, but some that really stuck out to me. One's pretty obvious actually. Dick Butkus. just classic football guy, classic name, household football name. So I have Dick Butkus as one of mine.
Let's see. One of my guys I have is a basketball player by the name Steve Hoyufat. I don't know, but that name, every time I hear that name, it just makes me laugh, man. It's one of those names.
There you go.
That's hilarious.
God, I feel like I'm just gonna burst into laughter with some of these. Next one up, we have Steve Sharts. He's a pitcher for who was it? Looks like minor leagues. But hey, on the back of his card, evidently at the time residing in Simi Valley. Kind of a Simi Valley name. Sorry, don't come at me. Steve Sharts, how about that? Next one. God. All right, straight face. Dick Trickle.
I also
NASCAR racer. Yeah, real solid name.
Let's see. One of my other names is Rusty Kuntz, former baseball player. Looks like he played for the Tigers and the Twins back in the day.
Oh man, that one's a little. That must have been pretty hard to say during the game. Rusty Kuntz up to bat. Another one I found that just was very interesting to me, and and I think it goes with the sports, a soccer player. It's Danny Drinkwater, because when you're running that much, you need to drink a lot of water. So, I just thought it was hilarious. Being a soccer player, someone that played soccer a lot. So, those are the only two names I found, but I know you guys probably have a few more.
This is Fidel's segment, so I think he's just going to rattle off a whole bunch. Yeah, go for it, Fidel.
Let's see. Like I said, I also had Dick Trickle. There was a former college player, I believe his name was pronounced Luscious Pussy.
Wow.
Yes. We have a baseball player named Wonderful Terrific Mons Jr. The fact that there's two of them in the world.
There you go.
And I'll keep it at that for now. Of course, there's the classic He Hate Me from the original XFL days.
He Hate Me. I remember that example.
I feel like that they, in kind of looking up some of these, it just kind of reminded me back to like players that just have awesome names, in my opinion. One is a player that I was hoping the 49ers were going to draft this year, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think that's such a sick football name. Like, yeah. I just think that sounds like you're just about to ball out. Next, former Oakland A, Coco Crisp. Love that name. Yeah. Love that name. But yeah, no, I feel like there's just, the list goes on and on. Yeah.
Right. I think there's a college football player still called the Coldest Crawford.
The Coldest Crawford.
Yep. And we can't forget about DeBrickashaw Ferguson, who Key and Peele based everything off of. So that whole skit.
That was like one of the funniest skits ever. Just those names that they came up with, and the character personas they like created for them was just hilarious, man. You 100% can't go wrong.
in speaking of which, kind of on the topic of Key and Peele, I don't know if you guys saw that video clip of Obama dapping up all the, all the NBA
Olympics
players, and then he gets to the coaches, and it's just a firm handshake. Oh,
like
I love it.
How the Simpsons predicted like all the future stuff. Key and Peele predicted, some of these, names and how it would be.
100%.
It's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah. When I saw that video, I was like, "Oh man, they were accurate about it."
Yes, they were. It's crazy, and then even the guy filming it, just watching Obama go through, he's kind of cracking up while he's filming, and it's just. I almost wondered if Obama kind of has it in the back of his head, that skit, because he's for sure seen it. But yeah, good on him. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I truly think it was just natural. That's just how he naturally, and you gotta, you got to be honest. It's based on race and stuff. People greet each other differently. So
Sure.
so yeah.
Yeah. I think though, honestly, in all complete honesty, if I'm gonna go meet like Steph Curry, I'm gonna dap him up. I'm not gonna go for like a firm handshake or anything,
Yeah.
Super cool athletes, It's just kind of the go-to.
What if you meet Steve Kerr?
Maybe a dap him up, Bulls.
Maybe
He's got some history there.
You think he'll dap it?
I think he would. I think he would. And he probably gives a mean dap, Sure, it's real solid.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Bill
Awesome.
Belichick, maybe a little different.
He might
Seems
surprise
like a
you.
handshake guy. That's true.
You never know.
That's true.
If you saw the roast of Tom Brady, he went at it some players, so you never know.
Good point. Yep.
He has some young girlfriends, so he has to stay hip.
yeah. How about that? Seen a lot of photos of them two lovebirds. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else I want to say about that.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's living.
All I'll say is money can do wonderful things for you.
Money can. But that was our say what section. Some of our categories, some of our top names, top TV characters. Like I say, if we missed any of these funny or even cool names of athletes that are going to be iconic names forever, let us know, because like I say, we might have missed some. There's a lot of names out there, so we keep us updated. But next we got Banter with the Boys, and I know you've been wilding this week, Tim, on the banter.
Yeah, I feel like I have been, and it's been about a few different things. Danny being here would have helped, because I would have just continued my roast of the Cowboys and that Dak Prescott dance that we all saw with that shared video I had. But hey, he's one of the guys, because I might take a few of those dance moves. I was gonna reenact it today, but Danny's not here. Maybe I'll save it for next week. Let's do a little dance. But yeah, does anybody have anything else? I don't know if there's a whole lot of other banter. I know it was a pretty packed week of events.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty packed week of events. I think we still brought up the crickets, with Danny, his new podcast partner.
Right.
Kept them company.
That's a real good one.
Yeah, if you guys heard the crickets, just let us know. Who you thought it was probably at first, and then who it was. Once you realized who it was. But I know we gave him a hard time after the last episode we recorded off the recording air.
Yep.
Comment chirp.
Chirp. Chirp.
The cricket
chirp
emoji.
In the comments.
Yep. And in the crickets had the dual meaning last week. I thought it worked out great with the title of kind of crickets with the Tongi situation. Great that he met him though. And then real life crickets. He's just all around cricket guy. Maybe he'll pick up cricket and start playing.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Good sport. Do they have that in the Olympics? I know we were going to talk about Olympics probably next week. We're getting closer.
I think so.
Pretty sure
right,
they
Summer?
do.
They do. Yeah.
I mean, if they have breakdancing, they should have cricket.
Right.
They have a lot now in these Olympics, which is pretty cool. So I think we'll save our Olympic talk for next week, because that's coming up, and there's going to be a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely an event in there I would love to bring up and talk about, but we'll save it for next week. Leave a little cliffhanger, but I have one on the mind that I definitely want to talk about, and have you guys look up some videos. It's funny stuff. It's good.
Yeah. And if you guys have any, to our listeners, any events, Olympics that you think we should sort of talk about, look up, and some interesting ones, we'll discuss it. Like I say, we like talking about it. We like looking at some of these videos, because sometimes we crack up with them. Sometimes they're really interesting. So we appreciate that. Awesome.
All I'll say is, if they have that horse prancing thing, they better have Snoop Dogg be the narrator like last time.
That was the one funny thing with the Olympics last year. Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart, doing some of the playback stuff. That was hilarious.
I agree.
Well, that's banter. Yeah, I think without Danny here, it's a little harder to banter because he is one of the ones that the Cowboys. They're always easy pickings, so we'll
Yeah,
save some of it.
and we are very nice to him. I don't want to give off the persona that we're complete bullies.
Yeah,
I just feel like the Cowboys super easy target. So
yeah.
uh, that's why I continue.
It's just like if we had our other buddies that are Raider fans, they'd be an easy target as well. You know.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all of you guys made fun of my receding hair at 22 years old. I mean, now I'm 32, but started then, and yeah. So we all
Happens.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We take the punches. We have fun with it, and like I say, we move on. Like that's what we do as our little group. Our happy hour huddle group, and even just our friend group outside of here. So always a good time. So banter with the boys maybe sounds bad to some people, but we enjoy it. It keeps us lively and keeps us laughing. We'll go into our hot takes. We got a few hot takes. First, Euro. The final was today. Spain won 2-1. I happy Spain won. They got a great team, great youngsters. A little disappointed England lost because if we remember when we first started talking Euro before they started, I had England winning it all and close. I was very close to predicting it right, but hey, that's part of that game. So I don't know if you guys got to watch the highlights or the game.
Yeah, I was able to watch the game in the morning or the afternoon, I guess. I don't know. I'm glad Spain won. They were the better team. They
Yeah.
didn't lose a single game.
Yeah.
I just feel like England kind of lucked in a bit into getting into the final because unfortunately, their coach Southgate does not know how to manage that team.
No.
He is terrible. I don't know how that man still has a job, and he's like the highest paid international coach too. And
Yeah.
he takes out his best striker with like 30 minutes left. Doesn't play their best players at certain positions. It's like, guy's a total in shambles right now. I'll be surprised if he's still on the team after the third or fourth now final that he's lost.
Yeah, I think it's been a few.
Yeah.
I think I heard somewhere that he was gonna probably be the coach for the World Cup. I think that might be his last chance, but we'll see. That's what U.S. thought. We're changing the coach for the U.S. national team, so we'll see. I'm hearing Jurgen Klopp. If that's the coach we get, I won't be disappointed.
Klopp already said no.
I
heard about that, but
Yeah.
is it contract rebuttal time? Up the ante a little bit. If we want a good coach, let's move on. Start being winners. Yeah,
No,
pay the man.
Klopp said no because the only reason he left Liverpool is because he needed a break from football or soccer, as it's called out here. So,
Yeah.
and he already said he's not gonna coach or manage for like a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he'll end up taking the England job once
Maybe
Southgate
gets booted.
bottles it again in the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, and then COPA updates. We were watching live. I think Fidel and I have it on our side screens.
Yep.
Argentina just won 1-0 extra time. So congrats to them. They've been winning a lot of tournaments. It's a messy tour, you could say. But sort of with the COPA, I don't know if you guys saw the stuff earlier today. It was delayed. What was it? Almost 45 minutes, an hour, the start time because of people are saying, stadium, not being able to control all the people just coming in without tickets. What did you guys see any of it? And what are you guys' thoughts on it? Like, are we prepared for the World Cup?
That's a great question. I saw the fans climbing through an AC vent to get in.
Saw that too.
That was pretty wild. Very inventive, I must say. You're finding a way to get in. How much of that do you think that was for the what is it? Kind of like that halftime show in a way with the performance.
Shakira.
With Shakira, yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's strictly just for watching football?
I'm watching football.
I think it's watching football. I think it's fans. I think, I read somewhere it was like Colombian fans were outnumbering Argentina fans 4-1. And, it's just them wanting to see their team win. And, when I look at it, and like I said, people may have different opinions, the U.S., in the States, we've had so many different sporting events and even big ones, and it's been fine. Super Bowl, we do it every year. One of the biggest events, in the world that get watched, and there's never been that issue. I think sometimes with soccer we have more, crazy fans, and I think this was a fan thing. It's like, if you don't have tickets, why are you even trying to get in? Why are you jumping in? You're causing all of this. Like, I understand wanting to go, and I understand the prices of tickets are extremely high and unreasonable, but you know it's just not safe. Because when I saw it and I saw some of the kids, I was like, man, in a few years, Keanu's going to be 4. Would I want to take him to experience a World Cup? Yes, but seeing that, I'm like, do I want to maybe risk him going into that situation? I don't think so. you know and even for myself, I'm like, do I want to risk myself going? I'm going to be a lot older. I don't think I could keep up the way I was when I was younger, if someone's trying to throw down or get trampled and stuff. So I'm like, it sort of makes me rethink of, like, do I want to experience that if it's going to be that way because of the fans?
Yeah. No, I second that. 2 young children, same exact thing. It's stressful enough being around a ton of crowds and keeping track of, making sure your kids are at your side, through it all, because especially not getting bumped and everything. But yeah, trampling's a real thing. And, another thing that I also saw commented and, looked, kind of the same in the videos was the lack of just security. They're way outnumbered. I guess there was some type of self check-in that clearly isn't going to work for the Olympics. So, just interesting. Hopefully they make those changes, and then,
Yeah.
sorry, not Olympics, but World Cup, right? Yeah.
Well, Olympics also in what are we in 2028?
2028.
Yeah, we got the
Okay.
Olympics
Yeah.
coming in, many years away,
LA?
but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, way outnumbered.
That's Euro Copa soccer updates. So soccer's pretty much over now till Olympics. Back just to baseball and fantasy before football starts. So, talking about Olympics, one of the big news things is Team USA men's basketball and Kawhi dropping out. Being a Clipper fan, I'm not gonna be too sad about it. Rather have him be healthy for the season for us, hopefully. That's a big hopefully that he stays healthy the entire season. But them bringing Derek White in, when there was still a lot of, I think, other players, you know, that could qualify for Team USA out there that didn't get brought in. And one named JAYLEN Brown, was that a snub? Because he's NBA Finals MVP, So why did they pick Derek White over JAYLEN Brown when same team, better player? What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I think that it's really interesting. I kind of see like a two-headed, kind of spear to this thing. One being Jaylen Brown is clearly, the better player, not discounting anything that would White's value. But Jaylen Brown, the history's there. A big rumor behind it has been some of the Nike stuff. A lot's been
Yep,
said
that's what I
also
heard.
about, yeah, same thing with Kyrie, is another name. He had his run in with Nike. You honestly just have to believe that's part of it. Next to that, I guess on a positive note, as far as Derek White coming in is, it's a guy who can be a little bit less ball dominant. So from a playing standpoint, maybe it'll help with the fluidity and
Yeah,
everything with the team. So,
yeah, good role player off the bench.
mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe Brown didn't want to do it. From what I heard, the guy's always busy. He's either like working with like internships with NASA, or he's like doing he's doing some events at Harvard where he's teaching the students. So maybe he already had plans for what to do during the summer.
Maybe.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I kind of believe that Nike thing though too.
Yeah, I think with part of it though that's kind of playing a factor into it is that he responded to the Derek White signing on with Team USA. I think he did some emojis or something or a question mark, and it kind of seemed shocked. I don't know if that was a case of them not even asking and he turned it
Yeah.
down, or what it was in general. So kind of a interesting
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I hear the Nike thing. That's the rumor. You know, could he have been busy? Possibly, but like the way I think of it is playing for an Olympic gold medal. It's something you want on your resume. It's something you just want in life. So, like if I was an NBA player and I would get the call, I would sign up for it. I'd be like, whatever vacations I have, it's like, hey, I'm putting all that on hold because if I could win an Olympic gold medal, just to have that it would be awesome. So who knows? But yeah, I think the Nike thing's a big thing. Possibly the biggest reason why. But like I said, there's also still a lot of other players. Trey Young was out there. Kyrie. So, but yeah, that's NBA Olympics. Jaylen Brown being left out. One of the other hot takes we have is there's movies coming out. It's the summertime movies. One of the big movies out currently is Longlegs, that horror movie, which stars Nicolas Cage. And one of the big things I think we started talking about is who are these actors or actresses that could just you're never going to get tired of seeing in movies because they're just in everything, from the smallest budget movies to the big budget movies, and sometimes they're good movies, sometimes they aren't that great, but they still just get the job. And Nicolas Cage is one that you could see him in many different movies, many different, you know, things. So who are those actors that you'll never get tired of seeing in movies if they're in every single movie that comes out this next year?
For me, I would say Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Dude, he's freaking hilarious.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
For me, Will Ferrell. That guy, he's in a ton, and he had a great run in the mid 2000s. Just all of them were it was banger after banger after banger. I'm missing out on some of his movies now. So Will Ferrell's a big one for me. Another one that came into mind was Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like most of his roles are just very significant, and they're just very interesting movies every single time.
Another one for me would probably be what's that guy's name? John C. Riley. He's hilarious too.
That's
For
a
me,
good
it's
one.
pretty much all going to be comedians, honestly. Yeah, can't go wrong. Guys, it's always funny.
Yeah, I think I had those comedians in mind. Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell, because they're in everything. But the two that came up to me that I've always enjoyed watching in movies. One, Denzel Washington. His characters, he always does a great job. And he's always iconic in every role he has, no matter how small or big. So I don't think I'll ever get bored of watching him in the movies. The other one, Matt Damon. He's always in different types of movies. Sometimes not the best movies, but it's still movies I enjoy to watch. And then even just small roles, like in the Thor movies, he was always a very small role playing,
Right.
the what was it? Fake Loki,
My
right?
favorite small role of his was in Euro Trip.
Euro Trip. Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know, yeah.
Yeah, but Matt Damon's one that he'll do some of those small roles, and I think it's just great.
Yeah. Another thing came to mind too is with this whole scenario is sometimes they play a character that you just can't get out of your head. It's like you're just kind of stuck on that person, and it's hard to see
Yeah.
them take on a different role in another movie. I almost feel like comedy movies, I might be totally wrong because I'm, not an actor in the industry, but I've also heard comedies are really hard to make. But it almost like playing a funny role makes it a little bit easier to jump into the next one versus like a more dramatic or dark role.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys kind of feel the same.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of these actors now go from serious to something more comedic because it's easy, it's fun, and then it's just all right, they get that little break of that serious, having to, really change characters because there's those actors that really get into their roles and research and even change their body figure. So like, who is it?
Christian Bale does that a lot.
Yeah,
Christian
Christian
Bale
Bale.
does that a lot. Jared Leto does that a lot. Joaquin Phoenix, like amazing
yeah,
actors.
Joaquin
Those
Phoenix.
roles they do, like top of the notch roles. But it's like, how much does that take out of you? Because you know, when I think about it, I'm a heavy guy right now. I like to eat. You know, I need to lose weight. Yeah, but like losing, you know, trying to be 90 pounds for a movie role, I feel like that would be just so bad for your body. But these guys do it for that, and you know, I applaud them and appreciate that. You know, it makes me want to watch the movie a bit more and really appreciate the work they put into that movie.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I think, gosh, Matthew McConaughey did it when he
Matthew
played
McConaughey.
the cancer patient, right?
Yeah.
In that one film.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
Dallas
yes,
Buyers
yes.
Club.
Yeah.
Super thin. I think 50 Cent was that the same movie? He or similar film. I think he lost a ton of weight for something similar too. But yeah, I mean, it's a great question. What amount of money would it take?
Yeah.
In order to lose that much weight? It's crazy.
Yeah, or even gain weight, because you know some of these characters, instead of doing a bodysuit, they just gain a bunch of weight, and that's what they do. And it's just like, you know, I think about it. It's like, how healthy is it? You know, because I'm like, I'm trying to lose weight, and it's hard. You know, yeah, I need a nutritionist. You know, I wish I had the nutritionist Hollywood has, the gym mentors. You know, the trainers waking me up at 5 a.m. But hey,
Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, but no, yeah, those are, I think, for us, a lot of those actors, and I think all the names you guys said, it's people
Right.
I enjoy watching in movies all the time. I'm never gonna get sick of them, you know.
Actually, I thought of another one. Well, you guys were talking. Keanu Reeves is a guy
Yeah,
that
He's a good
I
one.
could see in
Really good one.
any role.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Mike
I think
Myers.
so. Mike Myers,
Said some good stuff. Yep.
Jennifer Aniston. She's always in everything nowadays too.
Yep. Adam Sandler's always constantly, with
Yeah.
his Netflix deal, both
Yeah.
serious and comedic. Yep.
Yeah, and they're pretty good now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uncut Gems. I enjoy that movie. That basketball. Oh, what was the basketball one called?
I forget, but that one was
great
good too.
film. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
one with
enjoyed it.
Bo Cruz.
Bo
Yeah, Bo
Cruz.
Cruz. He's playing for the Spanish team this year too, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you guys let us know what actors, actresses do you guys always don't mind seeing in every single movie that comes out? Because like I said, some of these actors, they're trying to get paid, and sometimes you just gotta do everything that comes your way. So, hey, Hollywood, if you guys are listening, you guys need some background. You got 4 of us, 3 of us right now, but Danny would also be open. We'll jump in.
Yeah. If you just need just 4 guys drinking beer at a game,
Yeah.
call me in. Call all 4 of us in. Let's go.
We'll do that. Yeah, awesome.
Play pickup basketball in the background of one. You
Yeah.
know.
Uh,
Jimmy Fallon
yeah.
did a great job on an SNL skit with that one time with Pete Davidson. He was playing pickup basketball in the background. They were just awful, and then they're like, "Oh, you guys said that you had basketball experience," and they're like, "Oh yeah, at Juilliard, they played in a basketball film."
Yeah. It's hilarious. I'll be
Great.
I'll be doing the raindrops, just throwing it up in the air. Raindrops. Well, I'll do it.
White
left-handed.
chocolate.
Hitting
Love
every
it.
car. They'll be like, "Hey, you, get out of here!
Yeah.
You lied
Need
to
a
us."
sub.
Yeah, no, but awesome. Another hot take I wanted to bring up was I was watching it in the morning. I know Fidel was giving me a little bit of a hard time. Wimbledon, tennis, and Carlos Alcaraz, winning it 2 years in a row. Kudos to him, young guy, beating Jokic for the title this year. But one of the things I heard is for the tickets to get into Wimbledon this year was $10K. And I was wanting to ask you guys, do you think it's worth it? And when you look at Wimbledon, you see everybody suited up. There was a guy in one of this, that's sitting in the front court, right in the front, had a baseball hat, a regular T-shirt, And I sort of want to ask you guys, if you guys would go to Wimbledon, would you guys get like all suited up, like fancied up, or just go natural, your natural way? You know, like this, we'd go like going like this, or
It's a great question. I think, God, it's a really good question. I'm not really one to get like completely suited up. I've had like office jobs in the mortgage industry, and it was kind of required then. Um, but it's always fun to go casual. And then if you have the money to spend 10K, I mean, are you really dressing up to be marketable? I guess maybe if you're in like a fashion industry, or you own a clothing line, you want to debut that, sure. But if you're just some Joe Schmo, like, I think I would just go casual.
Man, if it was me, I'd go with my full airport outfit, hoodie, sweats, some slippers on.
Yeah.
I'll be chilling.
There you go.
I'll be like, I paid 10K. I'll dress how I want to.
Yeah. I don't know if they have a dress code. That's something to look into. I keep on thinking of it, and I'm like, man, it's almost like when you see the Kentucky Derby. Everybody goes suited. All the ladies always have those big hats. I think just for the fun of it, I'd go rent like the most craziest suit, and just sort of stick out, if I had the chance to go. So, same with Kentucky Derby, I'd go with like a nice little hat, good suit on, not knowing what I'm doing at all there, but enjoying that time.
Yeah, no doubt. Kentucky Derby, I feel like I would dress up for, wear some type of like, pinstriped red blazer with some white slacks and a cigar, just go straight balling. And then, I don't know, Wimbledon, I feel like it would be almost kind of funny if like the four of us would show up with like a beer hat and then just had straws going through, and just start sipping it. I feel like that would garner so much attention. Yeah, but yeah, that's a great question. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just something when I was watching it. Like I say, I watched it because needed to watch something with the kiddo. He was enjoying it, but I kept on seeing everybody like suited up, and then I saw a few people that just regular tees, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I was like, I think I'd probably get suited up just for the fun of it. Pick something just out there, like not a basic suit, but like some pastel color that just nobody's gonna wear. Stand out.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah.
Go in a salmon colored suit.
Yeah, I think the beer hats. It's a good idea, color. Tim. Wimbledon, you guys want us to promote? We'll be there with our beer hats. Matching.
We'll find a good English beer. Yeah, no doubt. Another thing is too. Hey, plug for next year if we get the invite. I saw a TikTok on this guy talking about strawberries and cream, and I guess this is like this huge stand, and I guess it's like a iconic food that they sell there, and I guess the queue to wait for your strawberries and cream was like over an hour. So hearing that tickets were 10K, and if you miss a match for an hour to wait in line for that, and I guess that item is only like £3. So it's I don't know, that would be kind of wild.
That's crazy.
Spending 10K to wait for a $3 item.
Yeah,
maybe crazy. It's worth it.
It could be. Like I say, hey, Wimbledon, you guys want us to go out? We'll vlog from there. We'll even wait. We'll take turns waiting an hour and missing whatever's going on at center court. So, but awesome. No, yeah, like I said, every now and then we watch. I think we all watch stuff, and some of these questions just come up. The day of us recording our pod. So, awesome.
Yes, that would be me during like a golf tournament. Is like not so much focused on the golf, but like the people. It would be an interesting, hey, another plug to the PGA.
Yeah.
Looking for some sideline guys, some hecklers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd want to go to that waste management one. Did you guys see the videos on that one? That's the party one.
That's the best one.
Yep. Yeah. My parents live like 5 minutes from that course. Just don't even have to drive. You could just walk there.
Yeah, for sure. But awesome. Yeah, so that's our hot takes for this week. Next we have our fantasy hour, daily fantasy hour. And this week we had just our gems that are going to come out. Our next Puka Nakuas. I know Fidel was a little hesitant to share his.
He's smiling. I'm ready.
Secrets,
He's like trying to do something with his eyebrows to like rub it off. And,
All these are fake, correct, guys?
Yeah, that's the one thing, with Fidel's picks, take it with a grain of salt. You don't know what might be accurate. Maybe that's why Danny missed today's episode. Maybe he didn't want to share his tips and tricks for you guys. But it's something I think we all look for in fantasy. That next PUKA, that next player that is going in, the later rounds. That's going to be a top, running back QB. So we're gonna pick one player for each position and just share what we have. And I'll get it started with we'll start with the QB, and who I have is I picked Justin Herbert. I feel like Justin Herbert, even though he has no big name wide receivers, he lost all of them. I think he's gonna have a big year, and he's gonna be one of those top QBs. If he drops far in the draft, that's one QB I'm willing to pick up, and I'm not going to be scared starting him every week. I think he's going to have a great year. Like I said, I think I don't even know if I had him in my top 10 in QBs, but he, just seeing his rankings, I'm like, I think he'll have a great year. So that's one of mine. That's my QB.
Just to comment on the Justin Herbert thing. I mean, every year he's had Keenan and Mike Williams. They've always missed so many games, so I'm like, you already kind of know what to expect from him without them. Yeah. So it's like, I think these so-called experts are just more afraid because they're supposedly going to run the ball so much more.
Yeah,
but
which I think we talked about when we talked about running back or the coaches a bit. I don't think they're going to run. They're not going to do a Lamar Jackson for Justin Herbert, so I think he's still going to throw. That's his specialty, so that's why I have Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Right. For me, my quarterback, believe it or not, is Gardner Minshew. I mean, guy did good last year with the Colts, and now he's with the Raiders. He should be the starter. And then he's got Devontae Adams. He's got guy that used to play for the Patriots. What's his name? I forget his name. But
Wes Welker.
He's got the no. I forget his name. Guy used to be a college quarterback too. I'm just completely blinking on his name.
Julian Edelman.
He's a solid receiver. And then he's got
Michael
rookie
Mayer.
tight end Bowers. He's got Mayer. They got a solid offense around him, so I think he should be able to put up some good numbers. They might be playing from behind a lot, so they might be throwing a lot too.
Minshew magic. I like it.
Minshew mania, bro. Minshew mania.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Great personality too. That's just a fun guy to watch. I'm really swinging for the fences here, but I feel good about him this year. I think he's got some weapons around him. Bryce Young. I know we hate on those Panthers from time to time here on the show. But, just the addition of Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard, he's a pass catching back. I think he should do all right. They got the rookie that they just signed on, and then they still have Thielen there, who had a great season last year. So, a lot of good weapons. I think that he could have just a much more solid year with a better coach, and kind of scheme there. So high hopes on him. Would be a really late round flyer though. Like there's a lot to pick before him, but hey, he's out there. And then going into running backs, I have Zamir White. I think he's going to get. Wow. An appalled look by Fidel. I think he's. Have you seen his? He's been working out. The dude's just a bulldozer. I think he's gonna. Did something happen today? Am I missing?
I think we just have all consensus. We all have Zamir White, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Running back.
Makes me feel better.
Like, oh, man.
I was like, I thought you guys were gonna say like he was cut today and like what an idiot. Yeah, no.
We would have
we all have Zamir White.
We would have let you just go on with that rant and just laugh about it after the episode.
Right.
Oh man, that would have been funny. That would have been really good. Okay, yeah, for all consensus on it. Yeah,
man. Yeah, like you said, he's looking swole, bringing back that power pack game.
Oh yeah.
over there, reminiscent of Brendan Jacobs over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when he got his like time to play last year, he actually put up good numbers.
Played
So.
well.
Did great.
Yeah.
Handed it off
Yeah.
a ton too. The guy was running it like 25, 30 times a game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing well. That's why I was Amir White, as well, because end of the season last year, I think he was doing a lot of the carries and he was producing. So, with a better team, better QB, I think they'll do a lot better. So yeah, that's who. I think that's why we laughed him once we heard Zamir White. Me and Fidel already had a little conversation, and we were like, "Oh man, dang."
I love it. It's great to do it on the pod. Yeah, I was just getting worried. Like I was like, wow, what did he do? Break his leg today or something?
For wide receiver, I have Ladd McConkey, so the Chargers wide receiver. I think he'll be the go-to guy. Quentin Johnson, I think he may have his bounce back year, but we'll see if he does. He had a bad first year as a rookie that was supposed to be everybody was high on. I was high on him. But Justin Herbert needs someone to throw to, and I think McConkey's going to be the one that just that next Puka, because that's the way I think about it too. When Cooper Kupp was out, Puka came in and he just dominated, and he became that big household name. So McConkey, I got him as my wide receiver.
For me, my wide receiver, I'm between two guys. They're both on the same team, and it's Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. One of them is going to have to get the ball. Someone's going to have to score those receiving touchdowns.
There you go. I think Fidel's a really big advocate for Quentin Johnson this year, so just be on the lookout for that one.
A little bit, but I don't know, man.
High hopes.
From what I heard, he's not going to get too many. He's going to be more like a kind of like a slot receiver. He really isn't that X receiver that they were forcing him to be last year. So,
yeah, no, that'd be good. Maybe switching up like that will do good for him. I have Jackson Smith Nahigba for my wide receiver, second-year player. I think that DK might slip a little bit. Tyler Lockett's another year older, and if Sam Howell gets any chance at playing time, that dude he can throw it. So, even if Geno's still, starter and everything, and yeah, but I just think that he's going to have a good year, and DK obviously carries a lot of coverage his way, so good matchups as well. And then jumping into tight end, I have Luke Musgrave on the Packers. I just think that it's just going to be a really good offense in general over there. Jordan Love is looking great. So I just think, more play for him. So I've got Luke there at tight end.
For my tight end, I have a real deep sleeper here. Jatavion Sanders for the Panthers.
Wow.
Yeah, like Tim said, he's expecting big things out of Bryce with that new coaching staff. And I think Sanders will be a big part of it. The guy's got the speed. I think it was like a 4.5. And all their other tight ends aren't nearly as explosive, or they're more like of blocking tight ends than anything. So if they want this offense to run smoother, they're going to have to get a tight end involved, and I don't see why it won't be Sanders.
For my tight end, I have Cole Kmet. So always been a solid tight end. I think he's low because of all the weapons that they have in Chicago for Caleb. But I think Cole Kmet's going to be that safety blanket that's going to get a lot of those passes. So I think he's going to be a top tight end this year. He's always been one of those names that have been like trying to get up there in the tight end, those top tight ends, and never has broken out. I think this will be his breakout year. So Cole Kmet for me. Yeah, let us know what your guys' sleepers are, because it could help us when we come to our draft. And, I think we've discussed it a little bit. I think we're going to have our little 4-team draft, and I think we're going to be doing two QBs, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, then tight end, kicker, and defense. So we'll see how it goes for our little 4-man league. just something creative, that we do here on the pod, and we'll let you know how the draft goes once we plan it out, and just keeping up with it week by week.
I would love to do the defensive player versus defensive team. If we could maybe sub that in, just make it a little bit different, and
so.
just kind of have that isolated player. Be fun.
Yeah. Oh, that'll make it tough. There's a lot of good defensive players.
Be good.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, that's our fantasy hour. Let us know what you guys want to hear. What list to make. For next week, we'll be doing our top 5 tight ends, top 5 defense, and top 5 kickers. So sort of end our just normal, position rankings. Tight end, defense, kickers. There's not many names. I think a lot of people do, stream that position. But we'll share our top 5 who we think will be worth drafting, a little higher and not streaming. Those players that you're always going to keep. Even when they have their bye week, you're not going to drop that kicker, Justin Tucker type player. So we'll be doing that. But that's all we have for happy hour this week, fellas. Great episode. Always good.
Always fun, gents. Yes.
Yeah.
Even without the full crew, we always keep it lively. Lots to always talk about, even in a brutal sports stretch that we're going to be heading into here. So
yeah. So any type of topics you guys could think of, like I say, we're always looking at what's going on, current events, movies, things coming out, and just coming up with ideas. One of the topics I think we'll discuss either next week or the week after is Olympics, because that's coming at the end of the month. And Olympics is always a fun time to watch, so there's a lot to talk about that. So maybe we'll split that into multiple pods as well, multiple episodes. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, what you guys are interested, lists to make. We're very open to all that feedback, and just comment on how we're doing. The video editing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, learning a lot for myself doing that. So any feedback always helps. We take it well, even in the negative.
Yes, always. Yeah. Banter hours there for a reason, because, we dish it out, but you got to be able to take it. So I agree.
But awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see. We'll be back here next week.
Yes. Thank you.
All
Thank you.
Take care.
Peace.